One sheikh who said that Ibn Majah is muttaham, and we can't take his hadith seriously.
Why not?
She's just saying that he said
Ibn Majah is not muttaham. Ahadith are muttaham. Some ahadith in Ibn Majah are muttaham. Many are not. This is one of the Sahih Sitta. So did the old experts on hadith did not know anything about it? Why have they included it in the 6 most authentic books of hadith? It's a strange and meaningless objection. Particularly, they take this stance. Whenever they do not like the message of a hadith, they say muttaham. When they like it, they say, even if it is muttaham or even worse than that, weaker than that, they say this is hadith. For them, to suit their purpose, they quote any hadith, even from the 6th century. I have read their books quoting Bayhaqi. It's the most untrustworthy book I have ever come across in hadith. Huge collection of everything which has its own contradictions and exaggerations of things which Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam could never have said, because these hadiths, many of the hadiths in Bayhaqi contradict nature. Create the image of a heaven and earth which is not made by God. So how could they be true hadith? But when it suits their purpose, they would quote freely from Bayhaqi. They say Bayhaqi, Imam so and so Bayhaqi. This is not the right way. A hadith should be taken seriously, whatever the source, if they do not contradict the Holy Quran. If they are in line with the Holy Quran, what is the harm in accepting them as a message from Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? So you should not be over finicky about these things. But if a hadith is in Sahih, but it is against the creation of God, if it's against the law of the Holy Quran, of Sunnah of Allah, if it's against the verses of the Quran very clearly violates some verses of the Quran, then it should not be accepted as hadith. This is the safest formula we should accept. Otherwise, if some hadith suit your purpose, you say this is good. They do not suit your purpose, you declare them to be bad. It is like an attitude of the Jews which has been so strongly condemned by the Holy Quran. They put their hands on some verses and lift their hands from some others. See, they show and exhibit verses which suit them and keep quiet about the verses which do not suit them. This has become a regular attitude of the mullahs, unfortunately, of the mashayikh of today. For instance, the hadith which speaks of Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam to come in the latter days or descend in the latter days as Nabiullah. Now, Muslim is not muttaham, at least no one can say that. And the words Nabiullah are used 4 times in that one hadith. You will never hear these mashayikh speaking on the issue of Khatm Nubuwwat talking of this hadith. They put their hands on it. See, this is the meaning. When it comes to the hadith of La Nabiyya, Laysa Nabiyyun Baini wa Bainahu, obviously the meaning is that Baad means till the time of the advent of Messiah. There is no Nabi in between. They don't quote that. They keep quiet. And when it comes to the hadith, ulamahum sharru man tasadim as-samaya, you simply cannot extract that hadith from them. Whatever happens, they will never quote this hadith because it hits them directly in the face. There is no way of settling religious issues. Religious issues should be settled with taqwa and with a genuine, unbiased pursuit for truth. So if a hadith has not been condemned as such by early scholars, when it supports the cause of Jamaat Ahmadiyyah, why should you reject it as a third-rate hadith or this and that? It's not proper. Yes, but if it is contradictory to the Quran, of course, then we will never quote such a hadith. Understand?